Hey, welcome back to the build series. Car is primered for the last video, so now we are doing seam sealer before we do our base color and then our clear coat. So what is seam sealer? Essentially, most cars, when they build them, a lot of different pieces of sheet metal are overlapping, and they will just spot weld those pieces. So essentially, what you end up having is a lot of places where water can get into and not necessarily get out, and then that's when you start to have rusting issues. So one of the things you run into is if any of that seam sealer has kind of worn off over the years, you might want to redo it. For the most part, most of it holds up pretty well. The reason I'm doing it, and you're kind of seeing the areas where you're seeing it, is because I ground away a lot of it. From the factory, it's done pretty sloppily, not that clean usually. So I'm going to be redoing certain sections. I also have certain sections where I infilled with sheet metal that I'm going to be doing as well, but just to get a clean look. So there's different kinds out there. This is Eastwood's high solids seam sealer. They also have a self-leveling one. This is nice because it's out of a standard caulk gun. You can shoot it. One thing is the self-leveling is good, but keep in mind that it kind of runs. So if you're trying to do like a vertical line, it can be difficult to kind of keep it where you want it to be as it sets up. Whereas this is almost like if you ever used kind of a silicone caulk or something like that, it's a similar thing. I also have a brushable seam sealer for where I'm doing kind of larger areas, some spots in the wheel wells and things like that where it doesn't matter kind of on the look quite as much. And even some of these kind of interior panels, I'll show you where I'm going to use the brushable seam sealer. They come in different colors. I don't even know what color this one is, but I got beige. It comes in black as well. Since I'm painting the car silver, I didn't want a real dark color that I'm going to have to then kind of paint over with a bunch of different coats. So that's why I got the beige color. So keep that in mind with what color you're painting the car. It goes without saying you want it really clean. So I just have some like surface prep that I'm using before doing these areas. I'm going to start at a spot, but it's not highly visible. That's kind of a practice. So when you're cutting these open, cut them open at an angle. Sometimes they have kind of readings on here to tell you the size of the opening you're about to cut, but start small because you don't want to have like a huge hole in it, but an angle kind of helps you have it come out of the gun a little bit nicer. It's a real small hole, but we'll start with that because a lot of these joints, I'm not trying to put a ton down, frankly. And in case you've never done this, typically they're sealed, so on a caulk gun, that's why I have this kind of pressed down in here. Another thing I would suggest is pull the tape up kind of quick because before it really sets up, and then you're going to be peeling away stuff you don't want to peel away, if that makes sense. So to end this video, just going to show you some pictures of the completed paint job. So you saw me in my makeshift booth spraying both the color, 2 coats, and 2 coats of clear. I didn't do a ton of like wet sanding of the clear after the fact, just kind of leaving it as is. I was happy enough with the finish, and it's going to work for the engine bay and interior where it's going to be seen. Overall, pretty happy with how everything turned out. Also, you'll see here that I sprayed the underbody with just like a underbody spray. I can't even recall exactly what it was, but just kind of taped things off the best I could and laid under there and did, you know, as much coverage as I could. So again, nothing's really absolutely perfect, but you know, showing you things that you can do in your garage as well. Thanks again for watching the video. Hope you liked it, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.